Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina Marie Agdarian. I am the author of The Letters in the Old House and now The Faceless Woman, available on Amazon. So today is another episode of Book Talk. If you're new here, this is a series where I talk about a book that I recently read, what I liked, what I didn't like, and ultimately help you determine if you might like to read this book. So today I am talking about what you are looking for is in the library. And look how cute this cover is with this little cat and the books in the window. It's very cute. The author is Michiko Aoyama, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. She is actually a Japanese author, and this was translated by Allison Watts. So as it turns out, Miss Aoyama is a very popular Japanese author. So I found this actually in my library and I thought it was cute and picked it up and read it. And this was actually a very sweet book. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. It was very cute. And it's almost like a series of short stories, but they all tie into each other. And it's really just about the magic of libraries. And if you're like me and you love libraries and you think they are just the absolute bee's knees because it's a bunch of free books at your disposal, then I really think you'll enjoy this book. So it is different, as I mentioned, almost different short stories that all tie together. The characters all live in Tokyo. They're all frequenting the same library and they're all going to the same librarian. And the librarian kind of tells these library patrons what they need based on what they're coming in for and their life. So she'll give them books that she recommends based on what they're looking for, and then she'll give them a seemingly random recommendation, and they all question, why did she give me this recommendation for the book? And then it ties into their life. So the characters are all different ages, different occupations, different stages of life. You have a man who's retired, who's just kind of looking for his next step. You have a young woman who is working in a department store and she feels stuck. And they're all going into the library for different reasons. And it really, again, just shows the magic of libraries. The couple of interesting things about this, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're good or bad, I think it's just a bit of a cultural difference with the Japanese writing. And even though this was, of course, translated into English, otherwise I would not have been able to read it. It was a little difficult for me personally to wrap my head around like the cultural differences in the book, certain things, certain ways of life, and just it was a little difficult that way. But that's not a knock against the author because she is a Japanese author. It's just something that was a me thing, not a her thing whatsoever. What I did also find a little odd was how the librarian is described. So if you do read the book, you'll see, and this is not a spoiler, I don't do spoilers in my reviews, but you will see that they do describe the librarian as quite large, making certain comments about her appearance that I don't think would be super acceptable in Western culture. But again, that's not a knock against her. It's probably more acceptable in Japan to make those types of comments about appearance or weight or things like that. And it was just, it was a little shocking when I read it. I'm like, oh, okay. And the way they describe, I'm again not going to do a spoiler, but the way they describe her is a little weird. So that was just kind of an odd thing that I noticed, but it could just be a Japanese culture thing. I don't know, but I read this in 2 sittings. It's quite a short book. It was a very easy read, but there was a lot of depth. So don't think that just because this is a shorter book, that it lacks depth, because there's certainly a lot of depth. The magic of libraries as well as community, and people, you know, of all ages and all stages of life coming together. And I think this is a fantastic book for anybody who enjoys reading or anybody who enjoys libraries. So what you were looking for is in the library by Michiko Aoyama. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this book or if you plan to read this book. And as always, guys, happy reading.